Hello, welcome back, viewers and subscribers. Naranda Brown here, your host, and today I'll be doing a preview for the Jamaica Costa Rica game. This is the third game of this international window, third and final, really. After which the players they will go back to their respective clubs to continue their venture in their various domestic leagues. But before we go any further, check out the link in the description to my sponsors, Quick Link Shipping, RS Sports Store, and CSA Shop. Each and every one of them, I am extremely grateful. Without you guys, we would not have been here. All right. So again, Jamaica, Costa Rica, let me know what you guys think. And remember, as soon as you hop on the live, hit the like button. The more likes this video has, the wider the reach. As we look forward to Jamaica brushing themselves off, really, and continue on their journey to Qatar 2022. How should we be feeling at this point? Are we motivated? Are we hopeful? What do we expect in a nutshell? What do we expect from the Reggae Boys? Are they going to bounce back against a Costa Rica team that probably isn't as great as we would want to think, but also a Costa Rica team that hasn't lost to Jamaica in almost 10 years? Well, in over 10 years, really. The last time they lost to Jamaica was 2010. So it says a lot. It says a lot. They don't usually lose to Jamaica. As a matter of fact, in their last 10 meetings, Jamaica has won only one. All right. They've won only one. And in World Cup qualifiers, Jamaica has beaten them only once, and that was in 1997. So again, Costa Rica, their main players on the day, in my opinion, will be Joel Campbell. I know Brian Ruiz. He's the aging figure, and he played the last game that they played against Mexico, but he couldn't stand the full 90 minutes and was substituted. But I think Joel Campbell will be their main man. We saw what he did to Jamaica in the Gold Cup. It was almost as if he was toying with us for the most part. And they have quality. They have quality all around the pitch. They don't shy away from the physical aspect of the game. As a matter of fact, in that game against Mexico, 4 of their starters received yellow cards. So it shows that the game may very well get a little bit crunchier, a little bit edgy. But again, Jamaica is wounded. This is a wounded Jamaican team. They're lacking motivation. They're lacking inspiration, really. And this comes from the top. I did a video after the game against Panama, and I called for the coach to be shown the door. Watch the interview, as a matter of fact, a few hours after that, and I realized that the coach was genuinely lacking motivation. He said the first half, and I quote, was an embarrassment. He also went on to say they practiced pressing in the training session, and as soon as the players got on the field, they shunned their responsibilities. Also, in that interview, he insinuated that the players who came out lacked commitment. Well, he didn't insinuate, as a matter. He said the players were lacking commitment. All right, and you can interpret that whichever way you want to interpret it. But again, I've said this on a number of occasions. Probably Theodore Whitmore isn't the one picking the national team, and we know where the blame will go after everything is said and done. And when things get rocky, the blame will be laid at the manager's doorstep, because essentially the team is a reflection of the manager. And we've seen it all over the world, everywhere. Once you watch football, you've seen it before. However the team plays, whether they play good football or awful football, it is often a reflection of the manager. And in that interview, I could say wholeheartedly that Theodore Whitmore has realized that he's at the end of the road. And even if he's not at the end of the road, he isn't far from it, because he didn't show that drive, that motivation, that gist that I mentioned before, to continue with this national team. And it's solely based on my observation. All right. So going into the game against Costa Rica, we may very well see a similar team to the team that played against Mexico. Remember, Theodore Whitmore, he rested a number of the players. Damian Lowe, Anthony Grant, Peter Lee Vassell, Javon East. These guys were rested going into the game against Costa Rica. We're expecting them to regain their places in the national squad. The English-based players, they won't be able to travel with the team. So most of them, they're preparing now to probably go back home, go back to England. And I know for those who made their debut, well, most of them, I think, were making their World Cup qualification debut for the Reggae Boys at the National Stadium. And quite frankly, the last campaign, the last successful World Cup campaign that we had which was 1998 campaign. We didn't concede a goal at the National Stadium, and for 8 English players to be making the World Cup qualification debut for Jamaica at the National Stadium and conceding 3 goals on the day doesn't look good at all. Doesn't look good. But again, we look forward because that is water under the bridge. What do I expect coming into this game against Costa Rica? I think Jamaica will have it all to do. Costa Rica currently on 1 point, Jamaica on 0 points. Costa Rica drew against Panama. They lost against Mexico. Jamaica, they've lost both of their games in World Cup qualification so far. As we know, Mexico is at the top of the table. No surprises there. But both of these teams will want the points. The question now becomes who wants it more, because we know Jamaica, they want to finish this international break with something on the board. And if they don't finish with anything on the board, it will, quite frankly, be disgraceful, in my opinion. I know there's still a lot of games to go. Some will say down but not out. But I think if we're starting like this, if there's any changes to be made, the changes need to be made now. And going into the Costa Rica game, it's hard for anyone to be hopeful, especially on the back of those 2 performances that we saw against Mexico and Panama. We aren't motivated by what we're seeing on the football field, and I think this goes down to the players. Probably some of the players aren't good enough, but then again, probably the manager isn't good enough. And going into the Costa Rica game, nonetheless, I think our main player, or the player who should be given the opportunity to show his capabilities or his class, is Tyreke McGee. I think the team has been lacking creativity for the last 2 games. We've been flat in the middle of the park, and I can't see it getting any worse at this point. And as a result, I think Tyreke McGee should be given a chance to play some football. Play him with Anthony Grant and one more in midfield. Who knows? Just give him an opportunity. And I think oftentimes it becomes the issue with Jamaican football, because we don't believe in youth as much, and we wait until they become breakout superstars. Then we act as if we've been interested all along. So give Tyreke McGee the opportunity. The same with Peter Lee Vassell. He's a young visionary. He can string passes. He knows how to put through balls in the final third. And in the last game against Panama, that was one of the things that the team was lacking. Mikel Antonio was lacking service, and as a fellow blogger said, or a fellow vlogger said, he said Mikel Antonio looked like a construction worker, and this was all down to Theodore Whitmore. So whatever the instructions that the manager is dishing out to the players in the changing room or prior to the games, I think he needs to brush up on that. But in the game against Costa Rica, over in Costa Rica, I expect Tyreke McGee to be given an opportunity. I think Junior Fleming has all the qualities to be the man on the day. I'll be considering a lot of the players who the high caliber players that have been recruited into the squad lately, they won't be available for that game. And Junior Fleming is quite frankly one of the best players in the USL, and he plays for Jamaica again. So why not give him the opportunity? Play him. Let's see what he can bring for us. Because if we're chopping and changing, Jamaica hasn't settled on a best 11 to date. We've been switching it around for the longest while. The practice games that we played leading up into the Gold Cup, it has been chop and change. When we got to the Gold Cup, it was chop and change, and now we're in the World Cup qualifiers, and it's the same thing: chop and change, chop and change. So again, settle with an 11. If you're making tweaks to the core of that 11, well, it will call into question your capabilities, because I think as a manager, any manager will say, the core remains the same. The core should always remain the same, and then you make changes around that core. So we'll see. Going into the game against Costa Rica, I think Jamaica would be lucky to come away with a draw from that one. Costa Rica's last game was against Mexico, and this game was played in Costa Rica as well. They lost that game 1-0, and they will want to bounce back from that. They're playing at home. They'll be motivated. Jamaica, I think they're lacking motivation right now, and it's coming all the way from the top, from the Jamaica Football Federation to the manager, and that has trickled down to the players. We've said it, football isn't played on paper, but also football is played both on and off the pitch. And right now, Jamaica isn't playing football anywhere whatsoever. We're not playing it off the pitch because it's so disorganized, and we're not playing it on the pitch because we look as if we're a pickup team, and the manager isn't doing anything to help the case. whatsoever. So the game against Costa Rica on when is it? Today's Tuesday. On Wednesday, I expect best case scenario Jamaica to come away with a 1-1 draw, but I think Costa Rica are favorites to win that one 2-1. But Jamaica, best case scenario for you guys, 1-1 draw. I think Costa Rica wins it though 2-1. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Let me know what you guys think. What are your predictions for the game? I think Joel Campbell, Keylor Navas, one of the best goalkeepers in CONCACAF. We've been making an argument for Andre Blake for the last few months, but these 2 or 3 games, he's had some questionable moments so far, whether it's nerves, whether it's the morale around the team. We don't know. But Keylor Navas is the ever reliable. And I think in this game against Jamaica, again, he will be one of the main protagonists in that one. So Brian Ruiz, Keylor Navas, Joel Campbell, those will be the main guys for Costa Rica. But I think Joel Campbell gets the edge over everyone else. And Keylor Navas, he's a superstar, and superstars, they win matches for you. And I think that's what Keylor Navas will be doing for his team. But again, your views always important, folks. Jump in the comment section, like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Can Jamaica get their points on the board? I don't think so. I think this window ends with Jamaica 0 points from 3 games. All right, prove me wrong. I hope they do. I can't be motivated by what I've seen so far, and from what I'm hearing from the manager. It's hard for anyone to be motivated by that. I trust in the abilities of the players that we have at our disposal, but we're sending a weakened team to Costa Rica because of the red zone and the circumstances surrounding the COVID situation. I can't see them going to Costa Rica and winning. So 2-1 to Costa Rica. Halftime TV's predictions. Theodore Whitmore is still the manager. I can't be hopeful. I can't be motivated. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, folks. See you tomorrow as we do the watch along for Costa Rica's game. All right. Bye-bye.